awesome. A little tired myself, but you know. So you guys excited to meet Michelle Ruff? Oh, really? I don't think you are. I mean, I could just go back there. Are you sure? Yeah. I'm sorry, we're meeting Michelle Ruff, right? I see your excitement. Alright guys, so there's a few rules. It's gonna be the bearer of bad news. So, unfortunately, no photography, one-on-one with her. I guess pictures if she's talking, that's cool. No autographs today. When you have questions, just line up right here for a Q&A. Ask anything, don't get too personal about it, you know? We don't want to be on the spot where like, hey, can I ask you a personal question? And you're just like, no. So, that's about it. Unless I enjoy the panel, and are you guys ready? Yeah. Are you guys ready? Last, one more time. If you guys aren't ready, I'm just gonna turn this off and go home. Alright, let's get ready to meet Michelle Ruff.
My trusty assistant, all the way from Los Angeles. Should I go up there? I feel kind of weird, like all the way up there. You guys are all spread out too. Let's see, can we make this more cozy? Do you mind if we all like come over on this side?
All to the next side.
And then we can all talk. Come on over. Yay. That's better. It's better here, right? Rather than up there. Yeah, I think so too. Hi. How are you guys? I just am going to apologize now because I'm super jet lagged. I just got married in Italy. Thank you. July 27th, and then I was in Greece for a week for my honeymoon, and I just got back last Monday evening, and then I had a few days at home and I worked a bit, and then hopped back on a plane on Friday to come here to be with you. So, oh, you're welcome. I'm a little brain dead. Please don't ask me any technical questions, because I'll be like, I didn't know. My brain has checked out. So thank you for coming. I always wonder, like with one-on-one panels, what do people want to talk about? Like, I know everyone always has questions about how you get into voiceover and how you got into the voiceover world and like the whole business aspect of things. So I'll just breeze over that, and then if anyone has specific questions, you can ask me. I just briefly, I've been doing anime and video games for almost 20 years. Probably longer than some of you have been born or been alive on this earth of ours. And I started, I went to Michigan State. I'm just gonna, that's okay. We won't hold it against each other. No, that was a long time ago for me anyway. So I was, at the time, I was working like 4 jobs because I was putting myself through school and, student loans and that whole deal. And I was a talent agent at this place in Lansing called Class Talent Agency. Wow, this is like a throwback. And I would work there, I would like teach classes, and then we would do like modeling and acting classes, and I would, in between school, and I was also bartending, and I was like running camera for this Michigan Public Broadcasting. So I was doing a bunch of different stuff, but my boss, I was studying to do production work, video and radio production. I wanted to be a producer. And my boss was like, hey, do you want to go out for this radio commercial? It was like for buckle up safety, Michigan safety seatbelt thing. And I was like, no, don't really want to, I'm like more interested in behind the scenes. He's like, just go, just do it. So I was like, okay, all right, well, why not? So I go to the production company and I do the audition. And like a week later, I'm in the car with my roommate and we're driving and I don't know where we were going. The spot comes on the radio and Gina was her name. She looks at me and she's like, that sounds like you. And I was like, oh my God, it is me. They had lifted my audition, didn't tell my boss, CL, didn't actually book me like you're supposed to do when you book a spot. They just lifted my audition and they dumped it, they added music to it and they dumped it into the spot and they started airing it. So I called CL and I was like, hey, my spot's on the radio. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, the spot that I auditioned for last week. They took my audition and it's on the radio. And he's like, oh, well, I'll handle it. So he calls and I got paid. It was like my first job. I think I got paid like $75 for this little spot. And then I subsequently did like other commercials and stuff and still trying to do production. Like I really wanted to do production. I was an associate producer for Michigan Public Broadcasting for a while and I moved to Chicago because I thought, oh, that's a bigger arena and I want to work, maybe doing commercial stuff or whatever. Well, I couldn't get hired for the life of me in production. Like, I didn't realize then that you kind of have to know somebody to get in. It wasn't quite clicking yet, so I decided to take classes at Second City Improv. So I did Second City Improv and Players Workshop and Improv Olympic, and I would do like improv theater. I would perform, and I did children's theater for Second City. I did that for like 5 years, and I just started, I don't know, I found an agent, and I did a demo, voiceover demo, and it was really like, industrial voices for toys, McDonald's commercials, that kind of stuff. Because Chicago's very, it's that Midwestern industrial thing. And then I moved to LA. I followed a boy out to LA, and I answered an ad in Backstage West for a show for a company called Bang Zoom. Does anyone know who Bang Zoom is? Yeah. They do a lot of the big animes. For Ninja Cadets. And it was their first anime, and it was my first anime, so I go to their house, and they were trying to be all professional and like, oh, come in, here's the script, and they showed me a clip of the film, and they were like, well, just, we want you to lay it down, and their dog Pato was there, they had this cute little white dog sitting next to me on the couch, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in someone's house for an audition, I hope I don't disappear, Well, I ended up booking the job, and that was my first anime. I just had a little tiny part, it was like 18 lines in this movie, and I was like, wow, what is this? This is cool, Like, I didn't even know it existed, let alone, like, they were like, yeah, it's dubbing. Dubbing, where it's Japanese and you're gonna, like, put the, the English version into the moving flaps, the mouths, and I was like, what? What are you talking about? I don't understand. So, that was my first foray into anime, and then it just kind of, it took a while, like it's interesting in the anime world, it's like, there's different it girls at different times, and it kind of took a while for me to get to that it girl point, and then I was like in, 12 shows all at the same time, and I was the it girl, and then someone else is the it girl, but, yeah, so, and then the whole video game thing came along, and that was a whole new deal, like, wow. And here I am, 20 years later, at Otakon, DC, in front of all of you lovely people, with a bum hand from signing autographs, all we get. Taking pictures. But yeah, so that's my story. Do you want me to talk a little bit about the business? How do I? Oh, how the business has changed. I mean, for me, like now I go to a lot of the big studios. I work on TV shows and feature films too. There's voiceover stuff for that. It's called looping. Yes, and so like I'm at Disney, I'll go to Disney, I'll go to Warner Brothers, Sony, so you know, I get to work on the big lots at the big studios. But I mean, honestly, for me, it doesn't matter where I am or what studio I'm at, I'm still gonna bring my A game, you know? It's like that first job doing Ninja Cadets, I was like, I gotta bring my A game on this. And every time I walk into the studio now, 20 years later, I'm like, I gotta bring my A game, you know? I'm an it's like an A player, team player, you know, show up, you leave your shit at the door and you walk in and you're there for the production, you know? And it was like that 20 years ago and it's like that today, you know? I'm doing an animated feature on Tuesday and I gotta walk in that, you know, it doesn't matter that I'm jet lagged and that I've been in DC all weekend, I gotta walk in Tuesday morning and be ready to rock and roll, you know? That's because that's what you're hired for. You know, people don't want to hear that you're exhausted or that you've been running around Washington, D.C. all weekend. They want you to be present to do the work that you need to do. So, yeah. I know you said you wanted people to line up at the mic, but should we just, is this a cordless mic? Can you just, like, if people have a question, just, hand them the mic and we'll do it that way, if you don't mind. Thank you, doll. Okay, so Yo-Yo's gonna give you guys the microphone.
Come with me, I have
There you go.
Okay, I don't know how clear this is going to be because I've been to both concerts this weekend and I have no voice.
I totally understand.
So if there's any character in any anime, present, past, that you could voice, who would it be?
Any anime character, past or present, that I could voice, who would it be? That's a really good question. Well, I can say that I had a callback for Naruto. And I remember this was when Miley was first started doing anime, and she's such a doll, like I love her. And I remember sitting across from her in the lobby and I was like, who is that? You know, like, is she here for the same role I'm here for? Well, obviously she ended up booking it and she's did a great job. But that would be the one that got away. Darn it! 10 years later, or however many years later, they're still recording, you know?
So many decisions. I'll jump over that next.
Hey, so it's great to see you again. I saw you yesterday at the Outcast thing. So I have actually some cool questions.
I guess.
I mean, like one of them's from my friend who really wanted to meet you, and one's just from me.
Okay.
So I have a lot of questions. So I'll just start with this one. So which character that you voice do you like or relate to the most, and why?
Gosh. You know, there's kind of, it's interesting, I think with each character you voice, there has to be a relatable aspect of that character. In some way, you have to find an experience within yourself that relates to whatever scene is, whatever you're doing, you know? So, but I think overall, I would say Rukia from Bleach. Yeah. And it's kind of a weird thing, why, but I will share it with you as long as you guys don't be like, what, you're weird. I went through a time in my life, and I still am pretty psychic, but I used to see ghosts a lot. Ghosts and like apparitions. Yeah, it's really crazy. I used to live in a place in LA where I think it was like an old Indian burial ground, and there was a lot of just really high spiritual energy there. And the house that I lived in, there was just a lot of stuff going on. Even my sister came to visit me from Michigan, and she's like a staunch Catholic, very conservative. We both saw a ghost one night, and standing like at the end of our bed. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Lights used to flicker, all this kind of stuff, right? I'm getting the chills. And this was all happening when I first started recording Rukia. So the whole thing with like this, you know, the hollows and helping people to the other side, it's like I really took it to heart, you know. It became like a thing for me where I would like, you know, be like, have to get into conversations with whoever it was that was visiting me to try and help them, you know, pass to the other side or find out what the heck they were doing there or what their intentions were, you know. So yeah, Rukia and me are like, you know, best buds.
Okay, so the question from me is basically, the reason why I wanted to meet you is because you voiced one of my all-time favorite characters in the Tales of series, Rita, basically. So
Rita Mordio.
And she's such a fun character.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask you, what was it like working on that character, like the game in general?
Well, it was actually really fun. The studio that did that video game is called Cup of Tea, and I'm still really close with all of them. They're wonderful, wonderful people. But I went in to audition for something completely different. And I think I auditioned originally for like 3 other characters in the game. And Danny Hunt, who is one of the producers and runs the board, she's the engineer, she's like, hey, do you want to try this character? She's like, can you do like, you know, sassy teen stuff? And I was like, yeah, heck yeah, that's my wheelhouse, girl. So she's like, okay, well here, let's lay this down. So I laid it down. And I can see, because, you know, when you're in the booth, there's like glass, you're like in a fishbowl, right? And the producer and director and everyone's out. And I see all of them like nodding their heads, like, yeah, you know, there's like, blah, blah, blah. So I come out of the booth and like, okay, thanks, you know, great job, I'll let you know. So I get a call like the next week, and they're like, okay, you got the part of Rita. And we're so glad we had you audition because you nailed it, you know? And I was like, cool. So that particular game, that was like, it was so huge. The game is really big. I think I had like 10 sessions, 10 4-hour sessions for her. That's a lot. Like usually it's one session, 2 to 4 hours. I had 10 4-hour sessions for this character. And it was cool because it was such a story, like it really kind of, you know, you really got a chance to like get to know the character and all the other characters, and you know, you get attached to the story, which was really fun. So, good questions. Thank you. Who's next? Don't be one-side-centric, Yo-Yo.
I'm going to. I'm gonna sit right here.
Oh, good idea.
Alright, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
One kind of serious and one kind of random that I thought of last time I was with the Q&A. Which would you like first?
I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Alright, I'll just do the serious one first. Because
Okay.
although I like a lot of the voice acting work you've done, the one that is my personal favorite is Yoko Littner.
Okay.
And can you tell us someone starting with you know, what you just said with voicing character from the Tales of series? What was it like voicing Yoko, and how did you get into that?
So Yoko's an interesting story. I auditioned for her, and originally I did not book her, someone else did. And I will not say who, because I wanted to protect them. But I guess this particular person, they were just looking for a little more depth to the character. And I'm, not to toot my own horn, but I'm just gonna say I'm known for being able to layer emotions. And I think that's really important. It's like, you know, you have whatever's on the surface, and then you have the underlying emotion. or something extra that, you know, they want you to bring to the read or whatever it is. And I was able to do that with her, thank goodness, because they brought me in to record the first 3 episodes, and it was kind of a test, you know, because they were like, well, we don't know, you know, we're not sure who's, you know, if it's going to stick, we'll see. So I recorded, I remember sitting in the booth, again, the fishbowl with glass, and I look out and there's Tony and Hideaway, and I see Hideaway going like this, you know? Yes, and then, you know, it's like, blah, 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 and you can't tell, you know, they could be saying, oh, she's terrible, to get her out, you know, because you can't, you know, unless they push the talkback button, you can't really hear what you can't hear what they're saying. So then, you know, we got through, we ended up recording all 3 episodes, and it stuck, thank God. And once I got into the series, I was like, oh my God, I love this show. I love this character. She's so badass. Like, I was just like, yes, this is great. And it was funny and, you know, quippy, and there was so much like banter back and forth between my character and Kamina, and I just loved it. Like, it was just that, it was like right where I wanted to be at that time, you know? I felt really lucky. Like, I felt blessed to be the one that actually got to play her. So, and now for the fun one.
Alright, and sorry, this is going to be a bit weird, but if you could you answer this in the voice of, preferably Yoko, but any character you voice acted? What would you do for a Klondike bar?
What would you do for a Klondike bar? What would you do for a Klondike bar? That's pretty funny.
Sorry, I meant like answering the question.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to ask it. What would I do for a Klondike bar? Screw the Klondike bar, give me a beer.
I'll have to go ask Kyle the same question.
Come to this side. Come over here. Wow, wow, wow.
It influenced my spiritual self.
Your spectral self.
See, I have those too, but I make them get red.
2 questions. First one, can you talk about your experience getting to voice Cream in the Sonic series?
Sure. Let's see. Cream the Rabbit. I remember one particular session with Cream the Rabbit. I was at Studiopolis, and she's really super high. You're like, oh my God. And it was so cold in the studio. And what happens when it's super cold, your vocal cords will clench up. And I couldn't get as high as I normally get. And the director was getting super mad, like really, not at me, but at the studio. So finally he's like, okay, we're gonna take a break. So we took a break, and I see him, he's yelling at the engineer and yelling at, like, he brought the studio owner in, and he's like, you need to turn the air off in here. She's, you know, she can't get that high note because it's so freaking cold in here. I was like, whoa. So they turned the air down, and I was able to, you know, to do what I needed to do. But yeah, it's an interesting insider story. What's your second question?
Do you find it kind of weird or kind of interesting when they always like pair your character up with like Johnny Young Bosch's and like certain animes?
Or Yuri Lowenthal.
Oh man, Johnny and I are like anime spouses, aren't we? I mean, we're not, but we always play together in all the different shows. And yeah, do I find it weird? No, I think we sound good together. You know, it's like certain people, I don't know, you find that certain people kind of pair well together vocally, and I think he and I sound pretty good together.
Todd Haberkorn and Jeremy Lee, same thing.
There you go. There you go.
My question is, has there ever been a time where you do voices and you kind of mix them up between animes, or do you know which one you're going to do?
Yeah, generally what happens when you're in studio, when you go in for a session, I mean, unless like I was just there the day before, they'll play a vocal ref for you. So you'll have, you'll get into the booth, you put your headsets on, and the very first thing they do is, or they get you situated with where you're at in the episode. If you've recorded any lines in the episode, they'll play those lines in so you can hear where you were at vocally. Or if it was an audition and they like what you did, they'll play your audition for you, so that you kind of know where you're at. So there's generally no confusion because it's pretty specific, that way. Yeah, you just pass it over.
So, I was wondering, you said that voicing for video games is different from voicing for anime. I was wondering, like, how they're different, or how one is more challenging than the other.
That's a good question. Video games are, I think, a lot more challenging just because you are, well, the lines that you're expected to do in the allotted time are a lot more. So, because most of the time you're not recording to picture, you're just doing stuff wild. So, let's say there's like, you'll have a script in front of you, right? Let's say there's 25 lines on a page, and it'll say, call out in battle, watch behind you. So it'll be like, okay, do an A and a B of each line going down the page, or A, B, and C, and then they pick the best one as you go. So it'll be like, watch behind you! Watch behind you! Watch behind you! So you've got you have to do 3 takes of each line, or 2 takes of each line, and you're screaming, right? And then the next one is, you're taking, they do like light damage, medium damage, heavy damage. So they'll say, okay, light damage, give us five options. Medium damage, give us 5 options. Heavy damage, give us 5 options. So you have to go through, and they're all like one after another. So the light damage is like a, The medium damage is, And the heavy damage is like, So, but you have, let's say you have like 200 lines, and it's all like that. And you have, 2 hours to do it in. With anime, you have, your script in front of you, you're syncing to, a moving mouth. So generally it moves a lot slower. And you're not screaming and doing, battle cries or call-outs or whatever. So video games move a lot faster, so it's a little more taxing. I think it takes more energy. Like you have to just be, really fast on your feet to do a video game. Good question.
Thanks.
Yeah. Should we come around the front? Oh my God. We'll start here and go that way. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Or afternoon, I guess now. It's what, 3?
Is it? Yeah, it's in there.
Something wrong there. But thank you for coming again.
Of course.
It's a pleasure to have you this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
So my question is, you mentioned during your, was it the Women in Anime panel?
Yeah.
That for you felt like she was like one of the hardest characters you had to play because the emotion to get across
Right.
the one word was great.
Right.
I want to know the opposite. So what role do you think was like the most naturally, like you were more...
The easiest?
The easiest, yeah. The more naturally
Right.
ability for you to do.
Okay, this is gonna sound weird, but do you guys know Lucky Star?
Yes.
Tsukasa. I don't know why, but she just, even though she is really cute and silly, there was just, she just had like a place in my psyche and in my vocal cords that was not a stretch for me. Like, I don't know why, but I just would have so much fun with her, and it was not a stretch at all. Are you surprised? Yeah, I kind of am too. Yeah, I mean, Yoko, the thing with Gurren Lagann, and the reason I would say that was not my easiest role was because of the whole thing with them trying to find the right character for her. So there was a lot of pressure to really to do well and to find her. So it became fun as it went on, but the first few sessions were a little yeah.
All right, 2 experience questions coming right up. What was it like voicing Chakiano and Zenki?
Oh, jeez.
That's right, I'm a Zenki guy.
That was not one of my favorite projects, I have to
Sorry about
tell you. No, it's okay. I just, the guy who was producing it was just kind of slapping it together.
Oh.
And he didn't really care too much about the quality of the production, so I don't know.
That explains why child Zenki's voice was inconsistent for several episodes.
Oh, probably, yeah. So, yeah, he didn't really care too much about it, so it just...
Plus, it was pretty much a copy and paste anime. As much as I love it, I will admit that.
Okay. Well, what's your second question?
All right. Your Spectrobes experience.
Spectrobes?
Yeah, Gina.
Oh, yeah. The original animation.
And web animations and later Origins.
Yeah. Oh.
Your possibly second or third time working with Yuri Lowenthal.
It was fun. It was fun.
What?
I always like recording original animation, Cool. Yeah.
And also, for when I first heard your voice in Spectrobes Origins, I had only heard your voice once before, a few times from Digimon, and I was able to recognize it somehow, and I was right.
Thank you.
No problem.
Very cool.
All right.
All right.
Who's next?
Who's next?
Am
I boring you guys?
Not at all.
Okay. Bye. Thank you. Love you too. Bye.
I have a question about Yuki and Adele. So, before Disappearance and in Disappearance, could you say that vocally, actually, she is 2 different characters? And
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a tough one for me because when I went in to record the Disappearance of Nagato, I was like, oh my God, I felt such an obligation to her and to you guys, the people who are fans of the show and of the character, to find a piece of the old Yuki to bring to the new Yuki so that it wasn't such a drastic, jump from one to the other. And I think I did it. It was kind of towing the line a little bit. But, technically in the Disappearance, she's a human. She's not an alien anymore. So there was just it was a little difficult, but I think we did it. Yeah.
May I have one more question? Considering video games, Kawakami, Persona 5, so I know that some fans consider the relationship between her and MC kind of weird and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of line for you morally, for example, that will tell you, no, I'm not going to voice that character?
Yes, absolutely. I thought the relationship was a little weird too. I find that Atlas, the game company that did Persona 5, that's kind of their thing. I always know if I'm showing up to an Atlas project that there's gonna be some sort of fanfare or something a little maybe questionable in the relationship. But that's kind of their thing, and that's what makes it fun, And I think you guys appreciate that, and it's it's the payoff is in the end it's you get through the whole game, and then, it's that payoff, or I don't want to give it away, but whatever. But Atlas, I always know I can trust them. ever think that they cross a line that I'm uncomfortable with, so I'm okay with that. There are things that I won't do. Like I got an audition last year for, a friend of mine was casting a revoice for, I don't know if it was a little girl or a little boy who was possessed by the devil. And it was like The Exorcist. They were redoing The Exorcist. I don't know if it was a pilot or if it went to TV. And he's like, okay, we need you to do this voice of basically of the devil, and this kid is possessed, and and I said, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. I just can't. He was like, why? He said, I don't want to bring that into, number one, I don't want to bring that into my studio, into my home. I don't want to play, the sample that you sent me. I don't want to listen to it, and then I don't want to try and put myself in that place emotionally. It's just too much. And I think it opens up yucky stuff. Like, you just have to be careful. So he was like, okay, all right, I understand. And I've actually had a couple auditions like that that'll come my way, and I'm like, no thank you. I don't really need the money that badly. I'll pass. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. This gal. Don't get too comfortable. Hi.
You voiced young Satoru in Erased.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorite shows ever.
Me too. Me
so
too.
what was your experience like recording for that character in a show that has such like heavy themes?
Yeah. Well, first of all, can I just tell you, thank you for bringing that show up. I won't spoil it. I will not spoil it, I promise. You should. First of all, let me say, if you have not seen Erased, I highly, highly recommend it. Like, I took my now husband to the screening, they did a screening for us of the first 6 episodes, and at the end, he was like, oh my God! What just happened? I was like, I know, I told you, this show is really special. First of all, I will say it's very dark. Okay, it's the subject matter is very dark, but it's very important, and I think it has a message in the end that we all need to see. It's not for nothing, right? Like, it definitely goes somewhere, and there's definitely an end result that I think it's important for all of us to see. So, with that being said, I will tell you that was probably one of the most heart-wrenching and difficult characters for me to play. And I cried a lot. Like, in studio, I'd just be like, oh my God, and Alex would say, do you need a break? And I'd be like, yeah, can I just take a little break? Because I couldn't, it was just so heavy. But it's really good.
I binge watched it in 2 days.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I can understand why. I would binge watch it, but totally binge watch too. I will say it's not, and you can confirm or deny this, it's not your typical anime.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, yeah, it's not done in the typical anime style. It's definitely more of a Western film, like, acting style.
Yeah, that's why it appeals to not just anime fans, but a lot more other people.
Yeah, so it's almost like I want to say it's almost like a live action drama, but cartoon. So, okay, I didn't spoil it, right?
Ending I heard was kind of questionable, and so that's why I haven't touched it, because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna invest so much time and energy and probably tears into it, and I find out the ending's gonna probably disappoint. That's the thing I don't want to do.
I don't think it'll disappoint.
No, I'm saying don't watch your lighting.
It's not as bad as last.
Amanda is eating ice cream in front of me. I'm just kidding. Oh, this is my handler, Amanda, for the weekend. She's been awesome, even though she's eating ice cream in front of me right now, and I hate her. Go ahead.
All right, so my favorite anime movie of all time is The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Okay.
And that's in no small part to your role.
Thank you.
So, my question is, what was your favorite production moment while working on that series overall?
Was that when I got to play the witch? Was that the? I'm trying to remember the movie aspect of it.
You can take the the entire series.
The entire series. Probably my favorite aspect of the production. Well, I got to work with Alex Von David. Do you guys know Alex? You know that name? He directs a lot of the stuff for Aniplex, like the big stuff he did. Haruhi did Sword Art. He's working on another big show for them right now. But I like working with him, and I would say that he's like one of my favorite aspects of working with in any show, because he really cares about what he's doing. Like, he will beat the living crap out of me to get the read that he wants. You know what I mean? And then, on top of it, if we do a line or we do a take, he will, like if I say, hey, can I give you one more? Like, I just have something in my head that, you know, maybe isn't exactly what you had thought of, but he'd be like, yeah, sure, throw it at me. So I'll do it, I'd be like, yeah, yes, that was great. And then he'll end up taking that take. So there's just a nice balance of trust between us that we've established over the years, you know, because when he first started directing anime, he came from the commercial world. He wasn't an anime director. He was a director, but he had never done anime before. And now he's a total fan. Like, he loves it so much. He's so invested. And he cares about what he's doing, and I love that. Like, you can't walk into the studio with him and dial, you know, phone it in. You know what I mean? You really got to be present. And I appreciate that, you know, because if my head's not in it, I can guarantee that he'll get me in it, you know.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, you're very sweet though for offering to do that. House of Targaryen, yes.
And that leads me into my question. Who do you want to win the Iron Throne, or who do you think is going to win the Iron Throne?
Okay, here's what I don't know. I have a couple different theories. One of them being that Daenerys and Jon Snow will end up together. I'm shipping them. I'm shipping Daenerys, or not Daenerys, yeah. Khaleesi. Yeah, Daenerys. I'm shipping Khaleesi and Jon Snow together. And, you know, since Jon's sisters and brother are all still alive at this point, I have not seen the last 2 episodes, so don't say anything.
Oh,
yeah.
Still on social media.
I missed last week. I didn't see last week's. Wait, I'm 3 episodes in right now. So are we 5 tonight? Tonight's 5. Okay, so I haven't seen episode 4, so I don't know what happened last week. Don't even tell me. Do not tell me. Don't tell me. So I don't know who's alive right now because I haven't seen episode 4. But I would think, my guess is that Jon Snow and Daenerys are going to end up being together and ruling the 7 kingdoms. That's my guess. What? You did not just spoil it for me, did you? They're cousins? What? No, they're not.
Game of Thrones best anime.
There was. But what? Are they not first cousins? What? Khaleesi is his is messed up. Shit. Well, there goes my theory.
No.
Can I still have my theory?
Yes.
Okay, I'm still having my theory. Okay, yeah, I mean, look at Jeannie and, what's her name? Cersei, kooky Cersei. Boy, that is nasty. That's okay. Who's got the mic?
My bad.
Yo.
I'm not very good at this.
You're slipping, girl.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask you, have you ever cosplayed as any of the characters that you voice acted? Because some of them are a little promiscuous.
I haven't cosplayed. I always fantasize about cosplaying as Yoko, but I do not look good naked. so yeah, no. I guess I could cosplay as Rukia. She's all, with the...
What about cosplaying Kawakami?
There you go. That would be a good one too, right?
Hello.
Hi.
If I remember correctly, you voiced Chi from Showbiz, right?
Yes.
What was that like?
We were talking about this. Where were we? Oh, in the Women in Anime. Yeah. I love my Chi. She's like one of my little baby girls. She's like one of my first big roles that I had. That big Zoom cast me in, and I loved that show. Like, I just thought it was so sweet. Underpants. She was just so innocent and so like pure and beautiful. I just loved her spirit, and the love that she had and she formulated for Hideki was just so pure and unabridged. I just love that about her. The character itself, I was saying at the Women in Anime panel, it was very difficult to find her, and I know it sounds weird because the first 12 episodes all I said was Chi. But there was a very specific way they wanted her to sound, and like the placement of her voice, and it just took us a while to kind of find it, and the producer would just bust my balls every session. I would be, if I didn't have it, he would make sure that I got it, and they would take until I got there, So, but once we got into the flow of her, it became easier, and I found that place, the vocal placement, and then the emotional placement to be able to bring those feelings across in that one little word. That one little word. Chi. 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 Who's next? That's it? Oh. What?
I'll come back to you.
This guy here, grab him first, and we'll come back over here.
I just wanted to, I've seen that a lot of voice actors, they have a whole lot of range. Because for example, it was a while before I knew Vic Mignogna was Broly also. Wow. So, did you ever voice a character and or tell someone you voiced a character and they were just extremely surprised?
Well, yeah. I mean, I play a lot of boy characters, and I mean, even young Satoru is such a long ways away from Yoko, And when I first started playing more, boy characters, it would be surprising for people to learn that that was me. So I get that a lot. Hi.
Can you please show us what you would have sounded as Naruto?
Oh my God, that's a good question. Holy shoot. What was his battle?
Believe it. That basically.
Believe it. Oh, Miley, I'm sorry for this. I don't remember, but I think it was somewhere around. Believe it. they wanted him a little raspy, like they wanted, that tough kid kind of thing going on. But she sounds like that naturally. She's so great, yeah. Yeah. Who else? Question? Yes?
Here. Hello again. So, I asked you about, yes. Oh, so if there's a series that you maybe auditioned for, but then you ended up not getting the role, which is like the one you really want to work on the most, and you ended up not being able to. Naruto? Oh yeah, that's a good point. Wow, it's been a long weekend. Yes, I agree. Then, if someone asked me about the characters, I'll get back to you.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes?
Real quick.
Oh, wait. Oh, go ahead. Hello.
So out of all the animes you did, which one had your favorite opening or music?
Ooh, favorite opening would be Rukia from Bleach. When she's jumping from the rooftop to rooftop. Yeah, and she's got some, I can't remember her opening lines now. I don't remember either. They were great. I just remember really loving that a lot. Loving it a lot. Yeah. Who's next?
So, any series that you would have liked to have watched that maybe you weren't in or where you weren't in to watch the whole thing through?
That's a good question. I'd like to see Robotech.
Oh.
Yeah, I would be down with that. Just because I know Tony Oliver and Richard Epcar, and one of my best girlfriends, Edie Merman, was in it. So it'd be fun to like see the whole series from start to finish. I wonder if they'll ever air that again.
It's getting re-released on the DVD constantly.
Oh, yeah, but on TV, so I don't have to buy it. Netflix, yeah, maybe on Netflix. Cool. Hulu. Anyone else? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I guess I'll ask this question. Well, you voiced Luna in Sailor Moon.
Uh-huh.
So, say your favorite line is Luna from Sailor Moon as Luna.
Oh my God, dance monkey, dance. You say my favorite line. You say your favorite line is Luna from Sailor Moon. Do it, do it. Do it. Do it. All right, I'm just teasing you. I'll do it. Usagi, transform now! I'm teasing you.
Probably connected, I'm not sure. What is the character you've played the longest? Like for several years, like I got married.
Probably Rukia.
Rukia.
Yeah, because we recorded for like 7 years.
7 years is the longest you've been in one character.
Yeah.
So, could you say that it imparts the reason why you feel so connected to Rukia?
That could be part of it. But even in the beginning with her, I was very connected to it, from the get-go, I felt like this weird kismet with it, But then as the years went on, it's like, wow, it just became such a part of my life. You were going in and recording the same character every week for 7 years. That's a long time, You get to really know somebody.
So, all right. What was your favorite part about voicing Fujiko, or still is?
Fuji cakes.
Yes.
I love Fujiko because she's different from all the other characters that I've gotten to play. And the producer from the original Lupin is Hideaway from Gurren Lagann, the same producer. Bye guys, thank you for coming. So it was interesting, but when I went in for Fujiko, I was like, I want to throw a little something different on her. So I decided to just kind of do like a Marilyn Monroe-ish sort of thing. Not exactly Marilyn Monroe, but just give her that sort of flavor. And I thought, well, we'll see what happens, you know, and I ended up booking it. So
Cool.
that was fun, you know, it was different to be able to play that kind of a character. I mean, I think Lupin is not a typical anime either. I think all the the voices are a little bit more cartoony in general, and just the whole, you know, the whole feel of the show is not your typical anime. So it's just fun, you know, to be able to do a little bit different something with it.
I love watching it.
What? One more question? Okay, how about this gentleman here who has not spoken? Who has not spoken? He who has not spoken.
It's not a question, actually, sorry. I just wanted to say thank you to you.
You're welcome.
Like, anime helped me out through a lot of rough times, and
honey, thank you.
the first one I got into was Bleach.
Okay.
And so, it goes on to that, and Gurren it helped a lot later on, and then games like Persona 3 and Yuri, just even in a lot of roles that I really liked and a lot of things. So
that really touches my heart, and I appreciate that so much. I really, really do. I love hearing that. You know, it's like we're in the booth, and especially with anime, you're by yourself. It's not like you're with a cast of other actors. It's you and the director and the producer and the engineer. So, you know, it's like you're recording into a little microphone, and I don't know where it's going to go and who's going to hear it after it's done, you know? So to know that it's touching someone's heart and making a difference is really important to me. And that's honestly, I know I don't do a lot of cons, but I come out to cons because I want to make a difference. And I try so hard to just be open and kind because I know the world can be a tough place. And, you know, it's like you want to treat people the way that you want to be treated. So, you know, I feel like, man, if I can just make one person smile and feel good about themselves, and I've done my job for today, you know? So I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Yeah. Love you guys. Thank you for coming to see me. I appreciate it. Love to you all.